Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and a bit of a departure here from the normal content. I want to start branching off into some of the more, hobby related topics. Start sort of sharing my opinions, tips, tricks, whatever. So I guess call this the first of hopefully many. I hope this series is enjoyable and that people get something out of it. So to start off with, I wanted to do sort of 5 tips for new model railroaders coming from a new model railroader. So I have grown up around the hobby for sure. My dad was a big model railroader, but I really didn't do a whole lot up until the last, better part of a year actually. Now, to be fair, as a caveat, I did take part in other hobbies that are somewhat related. So I did a lot of miniature wargaming. So the terrain side of things, I would build tables and boards for that. Painting miniatures, things of that nature. So model building, paints, materials, all that stuff is very familiar to me. So it gives me a bit of an edge coming into the hobby, and definitely some skill set that I can apply to this great hobby. So tip number 1 from me, and again, this is coming from me as a new model railroader coming in: don't get overwhelmed. There are so many facets of this hobby, which is part of what makes it so awesome. You've got electrical, you got woodworking, you got scenery, painting, weathering, rolling stock, engines, electronics, decoders, lights, cameras, YouTube, you name it. There's so many different things that you can do with the hobby, and it's fantastic, but it can be overwhelming, especially for new people being introduced to the hobby. So take a step back, collect yourself, don't let it overwhelm you. One step at a time, always move forward, and refer back to these tips, and there's a lot of other great channels that have some fantastic tips that you can apply as well. So tip number 1, don't get overwhelmed. Find something you enjoy and do it. The rest of it will come naturally. Tip number 2 is keep it fun. It's got to be fun. Do what you enjoy. So if there's a particular facet of the hobby that you really enjoy, make sure that whether you use it as a reward for getting other hobby things accomplished, or if it's just a matter of when you come down and sit at your workbench, this is what you want to do, make sure that there's something there for you. Whether it's weathering cars, bench work, maybe electrical, programming, JMRI. There's so many different, again, facets. There's so many things there. You got to make sure you have some. Keep it fun. Keep it fun. I know for me, a great motivation, and this is why I have this YouTube channel, both to share with my dad so that he can see what I'm doing, because he's 2 hours away, as well as it's a great motivation tool. Whether you start up a blog or a vlog or whatever, I have a lot of fun documenting and showing off my work. It helps to drive me to get things done. So keep it fun. Find something you enjoy doing and do it. Tip number 3 is organize. Organize. I see so many pictures of guys, posting, or old pictures, or whatever the case is, and it's a disaster. And then I see comments like, I'm finding it hard to stay motivated. I can't find the motivation to do anything. If the first thing you see when you come down to your training room is a complete disaster, I don't know about you, but for me, it's going to put me off. I can't focus. I'm going to have to tidy it up, get things organized, make sure everything is where it needs to be so that when I need it, I can get it. That's going to make the transition to working on your layout that much smoother. So obviously, even for me, there's mess. When I'm doing something, there's mess. Try to have a clean slate when you come in. When you get done a project, put your stuff away, tidy up. Have a clean slate so that when you come in, think of it as a blank canvas. You're going to come in and you're going to want to sit down and do whatever it is that you're going to do, and you want to be able to do that without having to worry about all the stuff and crud all over the layout. So keep it organized. Same thing with your workbench, your tools, your brushes, your whatever it is. Keep an area that is your area. Like you see here, I have some goodies up on the wall. This is my work mat. I have my paints up here, and other supplies. Everything's easily accessible. Everything's in bins, ready to go. Try to organize yourself and have it a comfortable space for you. Tip number 4 is going to be just build it. See so many people, asking questions, doing research. The best way to learn in this hobby is trial and error. I'm a firm believer of that. Now, obviously, in this hobby, there can be some expensive cases of trial and error. So I'm not saying don't do your homework, but don't get hung up and become an armchair modeler simply because you're worried about, if there's a kit that you're concerned about, if soldering, is something that you're worried about, just do it. The only way you're going to get better. Don't be afraid of it. Just pull the trigger. Don't hold yourself to some ungodly standard, or base everything about this hobby off of model railroader or the NMRA or whatever. Do it to your level. Make sure you're getting enjoyment out of it. If you're getting enjoyment out of it, it is doing what the hobby is supposed to do. Doesn't matter what it looks like. You're going to get there. So just build it. Just try, practice. The only way you're going to get good at it. Your first layout isn't going to come out looking like something that should be featured on Model Railroader Video Plus or whatever. So just build it. Just get in there and do something. Whether it's weathering a car, scenery on the layout, soldering, electrical, doesn't matter. Just build it. Just do it. Okay. And the last one, and this is actually kind of funny that I'm saying this on YouTube, is don't get lost in YouTube or social media or Facebook or groups. Don't let that pull you into the point where that becomes your hobby. So I see a lot of guys, conversing back and forth where, they're not doing anything with their own layout because they're so hung up with watching other people's stuff. This is a fantastic place to come and get motivation, get ideas for people to share and display their work. It's fantastic, but don't let that cost you your hobby. Make sure you're taking time to do what you want to do, and take the ideas from YouTube, from Facebook, and apply them to your layout, and then share them with the rest of the community. That's perfect. Don't get stuck in a hole where your entire hobby becomes watching your hobby on YouTube and Facebook. We want to see what you're doing too, so get out there and don't get sucked in. Don't get lost in the world we live in now. Everything's on social media, Instagram. I'm guilty of it. I've got Instagram, YouTube, Facebook for this channel. It's just where I share stuff. It is what it is. Whatever I'm doing, if it's quick and easy, snap, it's Instagram. If it's a video, obviously YouTube. Facebook's sort of the cheese that holds it all together. Don't get pulled into it to the point where you're just being a screen hobbyist. Get out there, refer to rule number 4, just build it, and enjoy your hobby. Don't be scared of it. It's a fantastic hobby. There's a great community. There's a great community out there that you can be part of that will be supportive, and they will tell you the same thing. Get out there and just do it. It's the only way you're going to improve in this hobby. So with that, those are my 5 tips. Keep an eye out for the channel for more content like this going forward, and happy model railroading, guys. Take care.